This is to the media, to your twisted, immoral society, and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate.
Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness.
From an undisclosed location, deep in an occupied zone, you are listening to Covert Radio.
Why, hello, this is Covert Radio. And it is early Saturday morning, March the 18th of 2023. And oh, do we have a good one for you? Yeah. Remember this guy? Did you see the title? He's back. Yeah, so we're going to get into this really quickly. I think that I may have the wrong outlook on life. I've been wondering that lately, really about the last 20 minutes. I saw this at 4:45 this morning and could not believe what I saw. I saw this right here. If you guys can see your screen. This is Tommy Sotomayor back in action. There he is right here, top left corner. They could still be streaming. I don't know. I just hit pause and just blown away. I mean, I'm just literally blown away because once I saw this, like, my brain's weird. Like a lot of things started clicking and I just started thinking, like, do I have life all wrong? I mean, there's so many people in my life, honest to God, and I've told you guys this, that they're like, oh, Covert Radio, I can't believe you're not a millionaire. How aren't you a millionaire? Everything you do, your skills and your ideas and, the talents you have, like, how aren't you a millionaire? And I mean, I've had businesses, I have businesses, but here's the thing I've always been, I guess, like it's been an obvious impediment for me. I cannot take advantage of people. And from what I've learned, other than the model of incorporation and then IPO, that model that they only teach in Ivy League schools mainly, I mean, not only, but that's their education. How to create a business, launch an IPO, go to Wall Street, and carry on with daddy's empire. Because daddy did the same thing, grandpap did the same thing, and their great-great-great-great-great-grandpap did the same thing. And they control everything, so they've had everybody brainwashed the last several years that it's the average white family up the street who's, they work 60, 70 hours a week to try to make ends meet and have a couple little things, but they're the enemy. And that, only smart people, or not even smart, just anybody but idiots understand that, I would hope. But what's happening is the propaganda is getting so personal and so consistent that they're turning a lot of people sideways. People that say, you know what, I know it's not my fault. I know I'm not an oppressor. I know all of this. But you know what? I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being looked at sideways. I'm tired of the obvious, disdain when I'm out somewhere and you see the way somebody looks at you. And it's just, I'm tired of it because you never know what somebody else has endured. You never know their level of trauma. You never know their level of poverty or wealth. And you never know who they consider their enemy. Because weak people are always looking for excuses. I'm not giving you an excuse of why I'm not a millionaire. I'm telling you that I can't take advantage of people, and I'm not going to Wall Street anytime soon. I'm not going to sell any of my ideas to Google or Microsoft, which is another, method that these Ivy Leaguers and, the Big Ten schools, like a lot of even Big Ten don't really teach this stuff. It's mainly your Harvard, your Yale, you know what I mean? That's all the old money networks. But after seeing Tommy here, I'm just like, the tenacity. You see the screen, tenacity. You know what I want to do? You know what? Hey, because, we have the Covert Radio studio audience. Guys, can we give a round of applause? Can we give a round of applause for Tommy? Yeah. Tommy Sotomayor, everybody. Yeah. Tommy Sotomayor. Let's give a round of applause. There you go. Yes. Yes. Woo! Tommy Sotomayor and his level of tenacity and okay. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. His level of tenacity. The quality or fact of being very determined. Determination. Tenacity. The quality or fact of of continuing to exist. Persistence. Persistence. Tenacity. Persistence. Persistence. Obstinate, continuous in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. Tommy Sotomayor, everybody. Yeah, Tommy Sotomayor. Obstinate continuance in a course of action in spite of, stop. In spite of action, in spite of difficulty or opposition. I don't know, personally, I don't know anybody at his level, I'm saying, that has gotten the amount of opposition. Though, for a while there, I was like, man, men are weak. A lot of you men out here are weak because, I don't know. I think things should have been handled another way with Mr. Sotomayor, but, it is what it is. But here he is all over again. It's all starting all over again. I mean, it's not even starting. It never stopped. But here he is on YouTube again. And if you look at these comments I've highlighted here, these are, I don't recognize hardly any of these names. All the names have changed. The people, this is a cycle. This is a cycle. This is a pyramid scheme, in my opinion. Do you guys know what a pyramid scheme is? I haven't heard of one for a long time in this area, but what it was is the bars have them, the clubs have them. You can bet, there's $20 blocks, $50 blocks, $100 blocks, and it's a literal pyramid. And you pay your $20, you put your name on the block. You say, hey guys, there's a pyramid down here, and your friends get involved. Your next friend puts $20. Your block moves one to the right. They take your block. Then another friend, they push you both up. Then another friend, push all three of you up, and it goes on and on and on and on till you get pushed off the top of the pyramid, and you collect all of that money. And then you can just start right back up again. You go to the bottom, but you're putting $500 in your pocket, or how many ever squares are on the pyramid. These are all over. But see, what happens though, eventually is they stop. So everybody on the pyramid, there's nobody coming in to bump the person off on top. and everybody's stuck. So that money goes. You know, it's gambling. It's like a casino almost. A casino game, I mean. But, you know, the thing is, it goes away for a period of years and then it comes back and it's a whole new crowd of people who forgot either they were burned the last time and they sat on the pyramid with $100 block and nobody else came in, or they got in too late, or they didn't even know about it. They were too young because it was like 7-8 years ago and they were 12 years old. Now they're 21, 22, 23, going to the local bars and clubs. And they're like, oh, yeah, pyramid. Yeah, cool. Give me a block. That's what he's doing. That's what tenacity will do. And I've always said this, even though Tommy is a talented person, persistence and tenacity and drive will always outweigh somebody's talent. You could be the most talented person in the world, but nothing will matter if you sit in a basement and do nothing with the talent you have, compared to somebody who's a quarter of the talent that you have, but they're out there promoting themselves and online and networking and doing this and doing that. That's who Tommy is. He's never going to be stopped. But here's what amazes me. And like I said, all the names have changed. You got a lot of the same style comments. Tommy Sotomayor for president right here. Diazio, something like that. Tommy Sotomayor for the first black president. Boy, that looks familiar from 6-7 years ago. But here's what amazes me. This is what tenacity is. This is the perfect example of tenacity. Look what he's doing again. And we're going to get into this in a moment. Let me find the comment. Oh, yeah. Here's whoever, Tim Bay or somebody. Y'all keep hitting that Cash App. And he promotes Tommy's Cash App. We all know how that goes. But I thought, Tommy, I thought you said that, you were kicked off of YouTube. And then for a while you were saying, I found out as long as I don't show my face. So you were doing blacked out screens, and then that didn't last. Well, here you are again on a Friday or Saturday morning, Friday night, actually. About 1,000 people. I don't know how many people were watching, but you have 870 thumbs up. How long is it? He's hit rock bottom. And now he's going to start investing again. He's going to start buying the likes. It's all going to start all over again. And the message is never going to change. And we're going to get into that in a moment. But here's what blows my mind. And this is the balls and the tenacity that he has. Here, where's it at? Right here. And this is a promotion link right here. Again, this is a violation. We all know it's a joke, but this is technically a violation for linking outside of YouTube. Come watch the UFC fight by hitting this link. And it links right here to the Black Rush Limbaugh. Again, self-promotion, trying to reach out again for the white conservative audience, comparing himself again to Rush Limbaugh. Here he is again. And here he is again pirating Johan Productions and selling his own subscriptions to his own OnlyFans so people can go here and watch a pirated UFC fight. The balls and the tenacity. He's never going to be stopped. He's never going to be stopped. And my question is this: how long do you think it will be before Tommy is able to launch another plagiarized cell phone movie. Maybe he's going to come up with, the black woman problem of America, whatever. I don't know. He'll find a book. He'll find a title. He'll run with it. He'll start, I'm going to do a movie, y'all. We're going to do a movie, y'all. We need a, started off at 10 grand. Then it was 50. Then it was 100. I mean, all in all, it's been over $1 million that he's gotten for the first cell phone plagiarized shot, clip movie, whatever it is. What's the next scheme? Just a question to you, my opinion. What is the next scam? See, because here's the thing about it, and again, everything is in cycles. Everything is in cycles. This can be proven. This is a lot of new stuff Covert Radio's been getting into. Tone Space, you guys know who that is. He is, he's really shown me a lot of stuff and sent me on a path. It's unbelievable. And me and Tone Space are going to be doing a show here soon. But everything's in patterns. Everything's predictable. And, there's isometrics involved with cycles. Just like seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall. Tommy Sotomayor is coming back, and here's the cycle again. The reality is, though, he follows the same business plan. It's the same method, and he's going to implement it again like he did 6, 7, 8 years ago. And it is literally the exact same business plan model that Tariq Nasheed uses, that Umar Johnson uses. Brother Polite uses this. You see the connection here? You see what's going on? This is a question Covert Radio has had for a long time. How is it people like this keep getting pushed to the top? We all know the answer. We all know the answer. It's the same business model. But the reality is this, and this is real reality, documented reality. And this is the funniest thing to me out of Tariq Nasheed, Brother Polite, Umar Johnson. This is the funniest thing. The business model they used, as racist and pro-black as they pretend to be, the business model they use is stolen. It's a stolen method that is based off of false pretense and unethical absolution. And it all came from a white Roman dictator named Diocletian. I've talked about Diocletian. I've talked about Hagel in the last 6 years of Covert Radio. But Diocletian used a manipulative and, under his complete control, a method of problem, reaction, and solution. This is a method that was invented thousands of years ago. And he did it to the Roman people. And the main reason he did it was to expand government and increase taxes at that time. And how he unleashed it was basically, he's in his castle. He's literally, that's where the word ivory tower comes from. He was literally in his ivory towered castle. And say, this is something that, again, everything repeats. This same method was used by Adolf Hitler. And again, I've talked about this ad nauseum. I've talked about this on my other channels. And the reason I do it is because this is how it's going to be done again. And it's happening. I mean, there's a quote recently that if you're not building your own life, you're just a pawn in somebody else's reality. And one question Covert Radio has always had for you is, who are you before they told you who you are? Who are you before somebody else said you are this person? Who are you? Because it all repeats. And until you figure that out, you're just going to be constantly swept into people like Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, Tommy Sotomayor, Brother Polite, these celebrities, these government tyrants. You're just going to continuously be swept unless you understand where this comes from and how it's been used in the past. Everything is isometric ripples through time. So many years ago, this happened. From this date, you can project the exact amount of years ahead, and it'll happen again. The names may be different, the method may be slightly different, but the outcome is going to be the exact same. Hitler used Diocletian's method for the Reichstag fire, which is what catapulted Hitler to the top and which enabled him to be who he became. He used an old Roman method of control, problem, reaction, solution. It's also called the Hegelian dialectic, which I've, again, talked about ad nauseum on Covert Radio. And if you don't know, or you've never heard me mention, you're new to Covert Radio, you've never heard me mention the Hegelian dialectic, or Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, who was born in the 1700s. He was a German philosopher. He was a theologist. He wrote books. He was an author. And he was pretty much, he's even to this day, he's catapulted to the top of one of the biggest idealist philosophers of all time with regards to control, tyranny, and communism, Marxism. It's all based from Hegel, all of our modern stuff, but Hegel based everything off of the Roman dictator Diocletian. You see how it just keeps going? It's ripple after ripple after ripple, and it'll happen again in 50 years, 100 years. And until you can recognize it, I mean, why do you think I'm telling you this? I see it, and I want you to see it, because I believe if we all see it, it'll fucking stop. I don't know why you don't care. I just don't understand. Everything that's happening to us today is based off of Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel and Diocletian's method of control. These communists, these Zionists of today, these tyrants, they're using the exact same ideology and the exact same method to completely control our social and political structure. It's all problem, reaction, solution. And they're forcibly putting us into it. I made a video a couple months ago about 2023. Listen, I'm saying it again. The internet is going down, guys. It's going to be going down by September or October. So if you need to print stuff, if you need to save things, whatever you need, you better get it now. They have no other option. This is how why do you think all these banks are failing? This is the start of it. This is all the start of the central bank digital currency, the mark of the beast. This is all the start of digital currency. They're bank after bank after bank. They're going to only allow the 6 big banks to run. And then once they get rid of cash and the government makes it illegal for you to have cash, you're going to see. But then they got to take the internet down to do this. That's how they're going to force everybody into this tyranny. I mean, this is what's coming. This again, and it's happened time and time and time and time again, all through history, all the way back to the Greeks and the Romans. I've been talking about this for 6 years. Problem, reaction, solution. It goes all the way back to Diocletian. He was the inventor of this method. He needed a new enemy. He needed a new enemy to create the problem. Problem is number one. Because he needed to justify the government's expansion and his increase in taxes so he could live better. His family could rule another 100,000 years or what, I don't know. It's not 100,000, but he needed an enemy. And just like today, with the alt-right conservatives, the conservative Christians of today, you see how they're demonized. Diocletian decided back then that the Christians back then were going to be used as the enemy, just like today. The conservatives are the enemy. The Christian conservatives are the enemy. The alt-right is the enemy. Any and all media will tell you that. Any and all government will tell you that. Any of these tyrants, these communists and Zionists will tell you that. That's also what Diocletian said. The Christians of that time already hated him anyway, so it was the perfect enemy. It was the perfect enemy. Because they didn't like the blood sacrifices that were being made in the name of the god of Jupiter. Which the god of Jupiter, Diocletian, proclaimed himself that he was the earthly representative of Rome. Galerius, which was vice emperor to Diocletian, he was the vice emperor, and he suggested to him, hey, why don't you burn down your palace? Hitler, Adolf, why don't you burn down the Reichstag? So the question is, hey, Biden, what are we burning down in another year, within a year, 2023? When there's a problem, reaction, solution scenario happening, right now we're in the infancy stage. We're just waiting for the false flag, the Carrington event, whatever you want to call it. That's what they're going to trigger to use to take the internet down. He burned his palace down. It was a false flag event, exactly like Hitler did to the Reichstag. Diocletian's palace in Nicomedia burned twice within 16 days. Right after that, and just like Hitler, within hours after that, everything started expanding. And right after those 16 days, government expanded and taxes went through the roof. And the Christians of that time were immediately blamed. And there was a monumental crackdown. Imprisonment, murder, people were being killed in the Roman cobblestone streets. Christians were hunted. They were blamed. Just like Hitler had a specific people and party to blame. I mean, it didn't really work because Christians kept, similar with their tenacity. Christians just, you can't wipe them out. They even to this day, you can't wipe the church out. But Diocletian tried. But even what he did, it accomplished everything he set out to do. He got his higher taxes. He got his bigger government. He even got a newer palace because the government paid for all that, or the taxes, the people paid for it. He created the problem, the false flag attacks, the propaganda against the Christians. The public reacted, problem, reaction. They demanded a solution. So he increased the taxes and he reduced the liberty to handle the Christian problem. Problem, reaction, solution. Diocletian's problem, action, or reaction, solution. Hegelian dialectic. Hegel's problem, reaction solution. That's what we're living in right now. It's a control system where any entity can achieve its goals by creating the problem, getting the reaction, and then providing a solution. You got it? Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Tariq, Nasheed, Umar, Johnson. They create a problem. What's the problem, y'all? What's the problem, black family? White supremacy. White supremacy. Them white Jones that live up the street. They're superior to me because that's what I'm taught in school, and that's what my kids are taught in school. And that's what Dr. Umar Johnson tells me. And that's what Tariq Nasheed tells me. It's white supremacy. Blame whitey. Blindly blame white people. Because why? Why? You can tune into any one of them and get a myriad of reasons. They all have their own niche of, propagandic reasons of why you got to blame whitey. The reality is, though, this is a program. They are part of the actual problem. They are in line with the controllers. That's why people like Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Umar Johnson and Tommy Sotomayor and Brother Polite, they're catapulted to the top and protected. And they are endlessly, with the greatest amount of tenacity, will always brainwash people on all levels of media that they have reach in. They will brainwash black people that the people of today are oppressed by white people of today. It's not the Zionist. It's not the communist. It's not the tyrants. It's not the 5%. It's just white people is the problem. And again, no matter what your reality is. See, that's the thing about this. And that's why it's so effective, because there's so many drugged up dum-dums that fall for this. Because the reaction for the drugged up, docile dum-dums, be nothing in life dum-dums, their reaction to this vitriol that's created like people like Nasheed and Dr. Johnson and Brother Polite, their reaction to this is what? It's anger. It's emotionally charged rage. Dum-dums need someone to blame. They need a target. They need somebody, they need an excuse. They need somebody to blame as to why they don't want to work. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to learn anything. They don't want to apply themselves. They have their hands out. I just can't. Don't even get me started down this road. Just don't. It's people like this. Remember this? I just played this the other day.
Tonight.
Got anything to say?
A teen showing a glimpse of remorse following an attack on an elderly man in Pinellas Park. But tonight, police say they are still hunting for his two alleged accomplices. And officers say, despite their age, don't be fooled. These youngsters are dangerous. Our Jacqueline Iglesias joins us live in Pinellas Park with the very latest on the search tonight. Jacqueline?
Detectives here at Pinellas Park PD are teaming up right now with officers over in St. Pete to try and find these two other teens. The one teen that they arrested earlier tonight, he's not telling police where they can find his brother or his friend, but he is talking.
I'm sorry to that man.
What are you sorry
I apologize.
It's too late for Tone. That's how this 16-year-old is known on South St. Pete streets. Is this all worth it? Pinellas Park police say he confessed to beating and robbing an 83-year-old man Tuesday, leaving him black and blue. But he denies stabbing him. Instead, Tone, who's been booked under his real name, Antonio Peterson, is blaming his 13-year-old brother Xavier and 15-year-old Jasmine Burney. Did you tell him where your brother's at?
Do you know how many hundreds and thousands of stories like this I could show you every week? Like this one here.
The man who recorded himself brutally beating 75-year-old Norman Bledsoe will not go to trial or face prison time, for now at least. The case against Jadon Hayden was dismissed in late April after the 22-year-old was deemed incompetent to stand trial. Bledsoe died at another nursing home 2 months after the attack. His death was not ruled a homicide, but his family told the Detroit News he was not the same after the assault.
I mean, thousands a month, hundreds a week. Why, though? Why? Low IQ dum-dums need a target. They need a target. Because in my opinion, racism, blanket racism, is for low IQ people. You know, this even worked with Sotomayor, if you guys remember. Because there was a white kid that went to New York City and killed a black guy. And he was a subscriber to Tommy Sotomayor. This vitriol and hate problem, then garners a reaction from people like this that are easily manipulated, easily controlled, easily, led down a road. Just like, hypothetically, let's insert Tommy Sotomayor into this. If he's trying to, if he is, if he's playing this clip here.
Police say he confessed to beating and robbing an 83-year-old man Tuesday, leaving him black and blue. But he denies stabbing him. Instead, S0t0NoMORE, who's been booked under his real name, Antonio Peterson, is blaming his 13-year-old brother Xavier and 15-year-old Jasmine Burney.
Where's the mother? See, this is why black women, black women, and you have a bunch of emotional men who are paying him, and they're cheering him on because they also need an excuse. Yeah, black women creating kids like this. My mom was exactly the same way. She let me run the streets. Yeah, that's what it is. While at the same time saying it's a fatherless American problem, but he constantly blames. See, the fatherless part got the money from the white people, because a lot and intelligent people, black and white and red and brown and green and purple, they supported that, and that's what gave him the catapult money to push him to the illusion that he's successful. Fatherless America, not black woman America. It was fatherless America. And everybody who understands the problem supported it. They're like, yes, there is a problem with men walking away from their responsibilities. Yes. But see, the 90% of his vitriol blames black women. Like this here.
Like me to how many of y'all would like for me to explain to y'all why that's true? You know why that's true? Because white women go to this thing called the doctor when they find out they're pregnant. Whether they're gonna get an abortion or not, they go to the doctor. You know another thing? Think about how many black women y'all have heard that claim they didn't even know they were pregnant when they were pregnant. Almost every one of them tell the story of not knowing they were pregnant until they were 5 or 6 months before they realized they were pregnant. So if you're not going to get any prenatal care, it's easy for you to die in childbirth. The majority of black women don't even have a gynecologist. They just don't. So if you don't go to the doctor, you didn't have any fucking insurance in the first place. Why would you try to act like these people are racist when you died giving childbirth? You didn't even have insurance. But nobody wants to tell you that. Hey, how about this? Bet y'all ain't heard that nowhere else, though, have you? Nope. Where you hear it from? Me.
Problem, reaction. What's the solution, Tommy? What's the solution, Tommy? Give you money, right? that is the solution. You understand? Do you understand? What's the solution, Tommy? Give you money, right? I mean, other than that, what? Let's see here. Fatherless America did nothing. Never changed nothing. Never made an impact at all. Put you in several mansions, in Cadillacs and luxury cars, and jet setting around the world, staying at the best hotels. That's all that did. The fight against liberalism. Put you in a mansion, bought you exotic cars, leased you exotic cars, allowed you to portray an image of success. Didn't do anything. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And here we go again, and it's starting again. Donate them money so they can what? So they can what? So Tariq Nasheed can rent a building and, throw some old black and white pictures in it and a couple broken artifacts and say, this is shit nobody except me, Black family, ever told you. Real knowledge for $1 million. Hey, when's your new video coming out, Tariq? We own a museum. There's your $1 million, actually $1 million plus museum. You feel better? You feel better? Is that going to stop your hate and that hole you feel in your heart while you continuously indulge in this hate porn that is spoon-fed to you by Tariq Nasheed and Umar and Brother Polite and Hotep and all these fucking racists who have the full and an entire support of the communists at fucking YouTube? Do you feel better? We need a school for only black boys. Peace and power, Black family. We need a school for only black boys. Only black boys, family. $2 to $3 million later. What do you have? You feel better yet? $2 to $3 million later. Do you feel better? What do you have? Well, you have, in reality, you have a shooting gallery. You have a trap house gymnasium. I just coined that term right now off the top of my dome. Trap house gymnasium. Go ahead and use that. Leon Honor, go ahead and use that, bud. Make the next video. Trap house gymnasium. Because that's what 2 to 3 millions of dollars bought all of you racists who want to, for whatever reason, give your young minds, your young male minds over to the likes of somebody like Umar Johnson. You're all insane. You're all insane. That's what you got. Havoc Black family, HVAC Black family. We still need the Havoc family 4 years later. Still need your money. We need the HVAC, PCP 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. You feel better yet? Do you feel better yet? The whole while, the whole time, they are living in luxury. Their lives are changing with your money. Their families' lives are changing with your money. But you're still in the exact same spot. You're still in the exact same spot, feeling the exact same way, addicted to their hate. Addicted to their hate. You're addicted to being told it's okay to be a victim. It's okay to feel like you have no options, that you're oppressed. You have to stay under their spell so that they can continue to manipulate your money out of your pocket to make their lives easier and more luxurious. Does that sound familiar? Do you feel better yet? And you don't see that's exactly what the fucking government is doing? You don't see that's what the 5% does? You don't see why they're paying CEOs of corporations $150 million salaries a year? While they're simultaneously portraying and promoting and pushing to the top people that are calling basically and going to cause a fucking race war? They keep the attention off themselves. They enrich themselves. They enrich their families for generations and generations and generations. They will endure. They're always been in control. They're always going to be in control. They designed the system. They are the ones that are in control. And they have knowledge that we will never know. Do you feel better? Do you feel better yet? Tommy Sotomayor. Problem, reaction, solution. What's the problem, Tommy? Black women. Black women. They believe they're superior. They believe they're superior to black men in all facets. Education, intelligence, favor. What's the reaction, black man? You feel inferior. You feel inferior. You hate black women. You hate your mother. You obviously have to. Anybody who supports Tommy Sotomayor has to hate their mother. What's the solution? Give Tommy money? Well, what's the solution? Give Tommy money. And you do, and you do, and you have, and you will. You're paying to be told lies. You're paying to be told propaganda. And you're paying to be manipulated. So my question is, do you feel better? Here's one last thing I want you to look at. Look at your screen. Let me scroll down here. Johan Promotions. UFC files a $32 million lawsuit against a New York internet pirate. UFC has found a $32 million lawsuit against a New York man who has been illegally distributing its content. Help fight piracy by reporting anyone you suspect of showing pay-per-view events illegally. You can anonymously report a pirate by emailing information, like maybe something like this, where you can watch the UFC matches tonight for free as long as you pay Tommy Sotomayor at a 60% discount to do so. You can email information to Piracy at Johan Promotions, which is the exact same company Tommy in the past, Ripple, has ripped off continuously and sold NFL and pay-per-view events illegally. And he continues to do it. And he's again on YouTube. He's never going to stop. I'm Covert Radio. We got an army you can see and an army you don't know nothing about.
Like me to, how many of y'all would like for me to explain to y'all why that's true? You know why that's true? Because white women go to this thing called the doctor when they find out they're pregnant. Whether they're going to get an abortion or not, they go to the doctor. You know another thing? Think about how many black women y'all have heard that claim they didn't even know they were pregnant when they were pregnant. Almost every one of them tell the story of not knowing they were pregnant until they were 5 or 6 months before they realized they were pregnant. So if you're not going to get any prenatal care, it's easy for you to die in childbirth. The majority of black women don't even have a gynecologist. They just don't. So if you don't go to the doctor, you didn't have any fucking insurance in the first place. Why would you try to act like these people are racist when you die giving childbirth? You didn't even have insurance. But nobody wants to tell you that. Hey, how about this? Bet y'all ain't heard that nowhere else, though, have you? Nope. Where you hear it from? Me. Who else is going to tell you that? Nobody. See, the reason they don't argue with me is why? Because I have facts beside me. I'm not going to sit up here and say because I'm black and these black women are dying, I'm going to say poor black women. Most of them don't even know who they got pregnant by. I told the story earlier.